Hi friends, here we are, Thursday, another week of us being at home and doing the things. And it's been a little while since I have popped in live to talk with you about anxiety, working with your kids, tips to support your kids, tips to support yourself, and just really having those hard conversations about how we're feeling as life just isn't normal anymore. And one of the biggest normalcies or things that are happening in our lives that we expect, like going back to school, is upon us. Some of us already are making decisions. Some of us already have been invited to go back to school. And there is just a lot out there. Every district is different. Every household is different. Gosh, if I had a penny for how many conversations I have had about school or heard about school or read about school, I'd probably be a millionaire right now, right? And I'm not the only one. There's so many of you where I have heard, if my kids don't go back to school, I'm going to lose my, right? Yes, okay? I feel you. We have been doing this stay at home, work from home, mom thing for months. And for some of us, that was the goal. So for some of us, we're like, I love being home with my kids. They are a gift. They are beautiful. I love doing it. This has always been my goal. Okay, they are a gift. Children are beautiful. Love my kids. But it wasn't always my goal to be home with them. That increases anxiety. And so I'm going to tell you, first of all, you're not alone if you're feeling a little, can they just go back to school, please? And then there's all of those feelings about why they should go back to school, the benefits of going back to school. But then there's all those concerns about what could happen at school. What's that going to feel like? Is it going to cause more trauma? That's not what this is about, because we could be here for days talking about that. And really, I can appreciate everyone's opinion, and I would welcome you to have those opinions about school, homeschool, whatever works for your home. But those conversations that you are having in a grown-up setting, so with your spouse, with your partner, with your neighbors, with your mom, with your friends, because we're having them, right? We're having those conversations about what to do, what's best for our kids, what the school district is proposing, and our honest feelings about all of these hard decisions that we never in a million years thought that we would have to have. And now here we are having them. So those conversations are happening probably on a consistent basis, maybe even on a daily basis, and they're happening in a grown-up setting. However, hopefully I am not the first person to tell you this, but kids, they hear everything. You could be down the street at a neighbor's house, inside their home, down in a locked basement, whispering, and the kids can still hear it. They notice things. They feel those vibes within your home. They hear those conversations that you're having late at night when they are upstairs in their room supposed to be sleeping. They hear you when you're out on the front porch. They hear you when they're on the phone with someone. They hear these things. And even if they don't quite understand what you're talking about, they are aware that something's going to be different about school this year. They are aware of it. And when kids notice those things, then they can start to have what might look like anxiety. The root of most children's anxiety has to do with confusion. So if they are feeling anxious, or they are being aggressive, or they are acting out, or they are having symptoms of depression, or they are withdrawn, typically the cause of all of that is a feeling of confusion. They don't know what's happening. They don't know when it's happening. They don't know what to expect. There's all kinds of uncertainty. And guess what? That is the world we're living in right now. It's probably the root of a lot of your anxiety. What's coming? What are we going to hear from the school districts? What's going to be like next year? Are we going to be able to go to Disney in February? Those uncertainties are probably causing you anxiety as well. And it's happening in our kids. So what do? Because we don't have all of the answers. I don't even know what my kids' schedules are going to look like for next year. So I don't have the answers. So I can't necessarily alleviate their anxiety and their stress by giving them answers to their questions. But here's what you can do. And that's why I wanted to pop in today, because I wanted to just bridge that gap between some of the grown-up conversations that we're having often right now, and the conversations that you should be having with your kids. Now, kids that are school age, even if they're 5 or maybe 4 and going into kindergarten, you can still have these conversations with them, and you should have these conversations with them. Now, first you need to make time for these conversations. It shouldn't just be in the car on the way to baseball. It should be a specific time where you, maybe just you and your child, or your spouse and your child, your partner and your child, a full family meeting, however works best for you, make the time to say, let's talk about it. Let's open up some opportunities to have real, genuine conversation. That might make you uncomfortable, might make your kids uncomfortable, but it's important. So make the time, and make the time often. Be consistent when you have these conversations. And ask questions. How are you feeling about the school year coming up? How are you feeling about what it might look like? How are you feeling about wearing a mask, or maybe having to wear a mask? How are you feeling about only going to school for 2 days a week? How are you feeling about being home a little bit longer? Ask those questions of your kids, and whatever their response is, it's a good one. However they are feeling, if they're like, sweet, I am so glad that I don't have to go to school. I can't wait to just do homeschool, remote schooling forever. And you're like, oh my God, I can't imagine they're going to be home forever. If they are feeling good about it, just validate it. Validate their feelings, because they are their feelings, and that's what counts. So ask the questions. Be genuine. Allow them to be able to give you their feelings, and then you give them back. How are you feeling about it? It's okay for you to share your big grown-up feelings with your 4-year-old. It's okay. You're being a good example, and you're being real with them. Again, have these conversations consistently and often, and be transparent. If they ask you a question, and make sure you're allowing space for that. If they ask you a question and you don't know the answer, say, I don't know, sweetie, right now. I don't know, but I'm going to find out for you. And as soon as I do know, we'll have a talk about it again. Make sure that you can be completely honest, transparent, and real with your kids. They need to be going through this with you, not you handling it all or covering it all up, or maybe even ignoring how they're feeling about it. It's something that you should be going through with your kids as a unit. That will help them feel safer. It will help them feel more secure, and some of those anxiety feelings or behaviors will subside. So I encourage you to think about how you're feeling about all of this. And then I encourage you to have those conversations with your family about how they are feeling about all of it. It might help some things, and really try and alleviate some of that confusion that may be happening within your home. I get it, my friends. I get it. This is hard. This is hard. And this is something that we never expected that we would have to deal with. And our well-adjusted, easygoing, no problem kind of kids are really struggling with it. They really are. And even if they seem like they're doing fine, it's kind of like that analogy of the duck, where they are just still on top of the water and their little legs are going furiously underneath the water. And that might be happening with your kids right now. So even if you're like, they're fine, they're good, I don't even have to have these talks with them, have these talks with them. Because if their little feet are furious under that water, then it's something that you can talk with them about now, so that nothing erupts later on. All right, that is my little piece for you today. I hope that it's helpful. And again, thank you for those of you who have been reaching out and talking with me and asking me questions about sleep, or about anxiety, or about what your kids are doing, or about how to talk with your kids. I love being able to help. And I love that you are appreciating some of these live videos. And again, I am here for you. I hope that all goes well. We got this. Have a good one, guys.